Well, the Winter Investigation team, we've all come over to Flamborough to spend 6 days here and to go to the different areas of high strangeness that's happening around this area. This morning, as you can see, it's a lovely morning. Birds singing, sunshine, hardly a cloud in the sky. In fact, I don't think there's any at the moment. I'm heading from where we're actually staying and walking down to and around Dyke. Where we are staying is just the cottages behind there. So we've got this path that leads us straight down to the beach. So I'm just having a walk down here. Not only that, when we got here last night, we ended up going over to Bempton first. Well, we got here about 4:30 yesterday. We ended up going up to Bempton. Met up with a few people up there who were out and about, who we know, who we've not seen since the beginning of the year. It was nice meeting up with them. But this morning, I'm heading down here because last night Lee and Harlem went over in Dyke and they just went to have a look round the area, and they picked up this strange noise, and I weren't sure what it was. They weren't sure what it was, because when they came back I listened to the recordings, and it was quite a strange noise. It were almost like an owl at the beginning, possibly flying over. Then the next minute there was this strange scream. I'll play you the audio clip.
When we're halfway down to the car park, but usually when you go to Dyke on the entrance side, you feel something straight away. But we turned the tables, so if anything was there, oh,
so I'm unsure what that was. Bit of a strange one. But I'm heading over to the area that they were when this happened. The possibility of big cats around here. Was it a big cat stalking what could have been an owl in a tree, and it jumps on it, and that was the noise of it? Or was it just a natural noise? Or even a fox? It could have been a fox, but we don't know. But I'm heading over and I'm going to look around the area where they were last night, and I'm going to see whether I can see any unusual prints. Maybe cat prints, that's what I'm looking for. I'm going over there looking for cat prints to see whether, you know, we can get some and take some photos, have a look at them, send them off to the people who I send my, when I do get cat prints, I send them off to somebody down south who's quite an expert with cat prints and looking into the British cat sightings. So behind me over there, all that wooded area is Dyke, but the path here I'm walking will take me round towards that area. And I'm having a nice steady walk this morning because my foot at the moment has been quite sore and I'm finding it difficult getting out and about. I've had a bad week where one of my big toes has swollen up and it's become really sore, and you know, I've had medical advice and they've told me, you know, like, just be careful when this happens. It will happen quite a lot, and that's age for you. You start getting older, bits of your body start packing in. So this week while we're out, I think the team will be doing most of the hard work and I'll just be following along and reporting what's going on and putting it up here. Now, last night when we went to Bempton, we had a little bit of an experience. We all felt something really strange around us. With it being Alan's first time with experiencing something like this, he got quite scared, and he's not afraid to say, which we do. When things like this happen, it does scare you. There's no evidence, only our feelings with this. Well, that's all we can go on when things like this happen, is our feelings. If we don't see anything, but we do feel things. You know, a lot of you people out there who watch these videos probably have the same. Sorry, the wind's blowing. I don't know whether you can hear me, but a lot of you people out there will have these same feelings. But when you're out and about, you get that feeling of something watching you, or just out of blue, you'll feel scared. You know, especially if you're out and you're walking about at night in the dark. And I know the dark does. When you're out and about in the dark, it always intensifies feelings of fear and dread sometimes. But the feeling last night, we were having waves of it coming towards us, feeling it, and then it going away. So what I'll do on here is I'll talk to the team one by one and let them explain what they felt last night for you.
Lee and Harlan had gone off towards the bunker. That's where an area of the path, it felt like this energy was there, this entity. And going up to it, I went up with Kaz, and basically it felt like it was trying to push back. It was looking like this time it was, I've previous occasions encountered you, and we've kind of had a test of energies and I pushed it away. But this time it was wanting to try and push a bit harder. So I felt it pushing back. Kaz was feeling funny from it as well. And after a short while we headed back. But at this point it had moved on and it had gone up towards where the other two were at the bunker. We
was at the U-shaped platform, which is closest to the military base, where Harlan and Lee had just gone off for a wander. Peter approached me as I was sat on the bench and said, Kaz, can you just walk this way with me? To the left of where we were, to the left of the platform, it's just a little bit of an incline up the pathway. And we both proceeded to go in that direction. I wasn't expecting anything. I just thought Peter wanted a quiet chat, to be honest with you. And as we left where the fence line is of the platform, I just felt this overwhelming heaviness. And I said to Peter, this doesn't feel right. And he said, that's why I brought you this way, because he'd sensed something approaching. And the only way I can explain it was like someone was sat on my shoulders, and my body actually, my knees started to bend with not so much the weight, but it felt like someone had put their hands on my shoulders and was squashing me down. So we stayed there for a minute, and the heaviness stayed, but then it got lighter as Peter started talking and doing what Peter does best. The heaviness seemed to lift, and it kind of, as quick as it came, it had gone, but it went in the lad's direction towards the military base. It didn't come past us and come to you guys.
We were in one of the many buildings up there. Obviously, we found out we couldn't get under to the bunkers, misjudging how big the concrete slabs are. And so we went through another one of the buildings, and it was there where we got this strange kind of sensation. And as I moved my torch towards the main door, I saw this white disc almost probably the best way to describe it. It had no glow to it. It was just a simple, plain, white, disc-shaped object, and it swiftly passed the door, past the first window. I mean, it stopped before going through the second window. I've created a digital representation of what I saw in the best way I could kind of picture it. What is it? I couldn't say. It's not a bird, it had no pattern to it, it had no beak. It was literally a disc, almost like a frisbee, that just zoomed straight past us. And I don't know, because obviously that's when Pete said that he pushed whatever you guys had up to us, and that's when we saw it. So, continuing from then, if it followed us then back down, if it was that entity perhaps, I don't know.
When we were up at the base, well, basically, I felt a slight headache coming, which happened just before whatever happened or was seen by Harlan himself. But I can't remember if I said to, I did actually, thinking about it, I can actually recall saying, I can feel something. I'm sure I did. And then it was only there for about, I would say, 20 odd seconds. But then I got more or less a tap on the shoulder, and it says, I've just seen something, when I've turned round to go out the doorway with the torch. And then about a couple of seconds after that, the headache went. So I do suspect that there was something observing us or trying to weigh things up about. I mean, if you remember that night, there was a fair lot of people. There was a fair few people.
I was sat on the bench with Nat, and we were quite near to big railings, and Pete beckoned to me and asked me to go up to where he'd just been with Kaz to see if I felt anything. And we walked so far and I didn't pick anything up, and he said, that's good because I've been pushing it away.
When we did get back to the car park, we were just getting ready to leave. And there was where it decided to, right, this is where I'm going to try and get you up. Because it's a negative energy. It wants negative energy from us. And it wants us scared. It wants us under its control, in essence. And it's literally there. It tried to distract us, wanted us to go to one part so it could come around behind us. Because this energy was kind of flowing around the RSPB building.
To my knowledge, I was the first one and the only one who saw it. But in my head as well, when I saw it, I thought to myself I was the first person to acknowledge that I could feel something. But it's like Kaz says, it's very hard to describe the feeling. Because, you know, you watch all these ghost hunting things on YouTube, you hear about stories, but the thing is, what a lot of people miss is you do not get the atmosphere you're actually stepping into. Best describe it is the feeling. I mean, you ask Kaz the same question, and it's very hard to understand and describe, because I would kind of rewind really, and I would go back to the first time we first ever felt it. And it's a bit like stepping on broken glass. You'd never ever forget it. So when I was actually the most recent night, when I saw it and felt it, I knew straight away it was the same entity. In myself, I knew because I'd felt it previous. But Kaz hadn't and Harlan hadn't. But unknown to me, when I was kind of trying to weigh things up, because like I say, your mind starts going seconds behind and you try to think, yeah, something's here. And I'm thinking to myself, right, okay, what's Pete feeling? But when I turned round, Pete was actually facing the opposite way. As I was facing down the alleyway, where I'd just seen the shadow and felt the entity, he was actually pointing to the other corner of the building when I looked. So he, as I thought, felt I was the first one to feel it. I was wrong, because obviously Pete had felt it before us.
When we were in the car park, it was really weird because I think possibly I was the last person to sense anything. and Mick started to walk down past the puff into the gateway onto the footpath. And I thought, oh my God, he can't go on his own. So I went with him. And I had that sickness in my tummy. And I felt really uncomfortable, like I didn't want to be there. And then so we went back and I followed Lee down to past the cabin, where the building and the cabin, that little path going through there. And he thrust his camera at me and I did some filming and I felt really, really uncomfortable, like I didn't want to be there.
When we got to the sanctuary, I was ahead with Natalia. Me and Natalia was in front of you guys because I think you hung back for Lee and Harlem, and me and Natalia just carried on walking. And I said to her, should we brave it and go the back way rather than go round for the light to come on? And she said, yeah. And as we came up the steps and past the picnic area, Natalia headed towards that gate. And when we got to the gate, I said, I don't like it here. And I went down the side into the car park, and Natalia followed me, and then we heard you guys coming. I think Cooch and Daz were first, and then you came with the lads after. But I already felt that feeling, and I just said, oh, I've got the willies here now, and went to stand in the car park. It wasn't until we all come together in the car park. I can't explain. I can feel it now. I can't explain the feeling. We're paranormal investigators. I see spirit, as people know. I'm not scared. If I was scared, I wouldn't do what I do. But I described it as I was actually pooing my pants. And then Harlem approached me and I said, are you all right, mate? And he went, no. And I saw the fear in Harlem's face, which made me more frightened because Harlem's a young lad.
I felt, well, to start with, I've never felt that before. It was such a sense of just pure fear and dread. I felt just completely overpowered, but I didn't know what was creating this kind of energy to make me feel like that. It was really horrible. You could tell everyone else was scared. Obviously, this was the first time I've been here and experienced something like that. Obviously, you were here last time with Pete, and you, I believe, seen the same entity. Was it?
Sense that we
did
sense the same entity. Yeah.
Yeah, and obviously it doesn't know me. And with what Pete said, saying it might have tried to hitchhike onto me because I'm new. It was just a feeling of dread. I felt overpowered, as if I couldn't do anything else, helpless in a way. It was strange, really, really strange.
I was getting a sense of where it was and a sense of, in some ways, its intentions. I could feel its energy looking to try and get at all of us. And I knew that it wanted me to go one way when I could sense it was over there.
We were in the car park at Bempton at the RSPB site. So we'd just come back from the cliff edges, and Lee said, it's back. And I remember you shooting off down the side between the two buildings, and you said you felt sick. And it was at that point I didn't feel anything atmosphere-wise, a change in atmosphere, but I know that you said you felt sick. Gooch went after you to check, but I just had a feeling, and whatever it was that you'd seen, because I know you've experienced this there before, that it was circling the building on the right. I was going to come back round and flank you. I just had I don't know why, we just had a gut feel that it was coming around there. So I was in my car, I switched my lights on, just expecting to see some shape moving. But that's when you started recording over there, looking. And it turns out when we got back and you analysed the footage, there's an eye blinking, and it's definitely an eye. After all the analysis of it, it's an eye. It's a vertical closure of quite large, but what is it?
Yeah, know what you mean. It's a mystery, really, because it acts like an eye, but one eye, and there's a bit of a shadow down the side of the building.
Yeah.
I was filming at that point, and as you can see on the film, there's a shadow of me, and you're sat in the car with the headlight shining on me, and that's why my shadow's there.
Yeah.
And to the left, you get the eye, sort of eye shine, a white eye shine.
Yeah, yeah.
That closes quickly.
But then we've analysed, we've been up there to debunk it and look around for anything reflective. At the back there, we've measured the height, it would have been at about 8 foot high. If that's...
I think we worked out it was 7 foot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely taller than any of us.
Yeah, definitely.
Where it was. And it's hawthorn bushes, so it's not something you can get through easy. Hawthorn, it's prickly as hell.
Well, we tried it ourselves, didn't we?
Yeah. So, behind that, there's just the immediate hill. So
there's no way that there's anything reflecting it back there, because
no.
Around the back.
And if it was, like say, let's just say, white eye shine, it's a deer. It couldn't get in between the bushes and the building, because that's where it was. It was in front of the bushes, because it cut the fence off, didn't it?
Yeah, that's how
the wooden fence rail.
It sort of looks as though, there's part of a shadow where the fencing is, so
yeah.
It looks as though it's in front rather than behind it in the
bushes. So it's definitely between, like, the building of the RSPB centre and the fence that's only, about a foot, 18 inches behind it?
Yeah.
And then you've got immediate hawthorn bushes, which, like I say, are prickly and are difficult to get through. And Kaz went in there, didn't she? We tried to see if we could get some...
difficult standing in that area.
And immediately behind that is the rise of that hill right behind it, so...
And we looked and saw nothing that will indicate there's a reflector there.
No, there was nothing reflective. We looked everywhere for that. So what could it have possibly been? But that definitely was a white eye, and it blinked. And what it could have been, who knows, because it wasn't anything normal, that's for sure.
So I'll let you make your own minds up about that, and put down in the comments what you think about what these feelings could be, even what the noise was earlier on. Because it's good having comments from people and their explanations of what when things happen to us, what it could be. Because I mean, we all have different ideas of what these things are and what they could be, and whether they're natural or supernatural. But it's good to listen to other people's ideas, because we do take that in, and what other people might think about our experiences when we're out in the field, boots on the ground, doing all this sort of stuff. So I'm on the coastal path now, walking along here, and I know we're not going to get any prints here, well, cat prints at least, because it's well used. There's a lot of walkers who come along here, there's a lot of people taking the dogs for a walk, so we're going to get dog prints up and down here and human prints. I don't think we're going to see anything with it on this coastal path at all. If we're actually looking for something like cat prints, they're going to be over in places where people don't go, because they're not going to walk along where people don't go, and they're probably walking along fields like that rather than sticking to the path. And it's quite windy along here this morning. It's a nice breeze. I mean, I've just got a t-shirt and this little jacket on. I don't feel cold at all. I can see all the way over to Bridlington over there. And I can see dog walkers actually walking up the path here. And it's been, you know, there's been quite a few people walking past me this morning. But I think today, while we were around this area where we're actually staying, I think this is the area that we're going to take more interest in today, around Dyke, coming over this afternoon, and then with the team, and then in the evening probably spending a bit of time in the sitting, being quiet, listening to any noises, having a look round if there's any noises, and going towards them to see and try and work out what these noises are, if there's anything unusual that is. I know we know the normal animal noises like deer and owls, you know, and little animals going through the underbrush. But what we're looking for is something that we don't hear every day. As you can see, I've reached the woods now, and I'm on the path that takes you to a little area where we sometimes come to when we want to sit quietly and listen to all the noises around us, where we bring the, when Lee brings his parabolics with him, and we sit there quietly listening to what's going on. Now this area where that happened, where we usually sit, over 2 years ago we was walking, there was Caroline, myself and Lee Roscoe, and we come to the area just with the EMFs, walking around to see whether we picked any unusual readings up. Now as we were walking along this certain path, not this one I'm walking on now, but the one further over I'm going to, I was walking along with my EMF reader, and something which was invisible knocked the EMF out of my hand and knocked me a little to one side. Now at the time I ended up with pins and needles in my left arm, and I ended up with a bruise on the top of my left arm, where whatever it was knocked this thing out of my arm had actually left that bruise in there. So that night when that actually happened, I was just glad to get out of here, because it did shake me up, because it's something I wasn't expecting at all. And I'm not so sure whether we're in that place now. Yeah, we are. This is a place where we're in now. Looks like the trees fallen down and they've had to cut it up in this area. But this is where we usually come to take them readings and to listen what's been going on. Well, we're going to come back tonight to this area and do the same. But this is the area where they heard the noise from earlier on the video. Well, I've come here to look for prints, and I'm not going to find any, because there's so many normal prints, footprints of people, footprints of dogs, all in this area, and it's very, very muddy, as you can see. So So I'm not really going to find anything unusual at this point. So what I'll do is I'll head further over and see what I can get over there. Sunday today, and there seems to be a lot of dog walkers, a lot of children about, and a lot of people just out taking in the scene around here. So I moved away to a place where I don't think many people come along. But I don't know, because I don't live in this area. So wherever I'm walking, I don't know what the footfall is like. I don't know if you can hear it, but in the distance you can hear, almost sounds like a kiddie's playground. So I'm keeping away from that and coming out to places further into the woods where people probably don't walk. But like I said, I don't know the footfall around here. I'm not used to this area, so I can't really say. All I can do is walk around and look underfoot and see where I'm walking, see if I see anything that looks like a cat print. And I keep saying cat prints, but there have been reported to Paul Sinclair so many different sightings, so many sightings of big cats within this area, along the cliff tops. And that noise from earlier on, could that possibly be something to do with a big cat? Maybe grabbing a different animal? Because whatever the noise was, it did sound a bit stressful for whatever was making that noise. In fact, I've come to a point now where I can see there's lots of people have been walking around here because the mud and the footprints at this gate here. There's a lot. So I'm just being careful where I'm walking as well, because it's a bit wet. I think I've had a good enough look round now. I'm going to head back and see what the others are doing and wait for them getting ready, and then we'll head back over. And I want to come over with Lee and Harlem to show me the exact area where they picked these noises up from last night. So we're all out and about now. We're back over in the woods at Dyke. We're not travelling by car at the moment, we're travelling by foot. As you can see, Lee and Alan behind me. And we've got Kaz in front with Caroline. So I think today really is more of a scouting and walking around and seeing what we can find in daylight. maybe going down to the beach and having a look around that area. There's something over here that's caught Lee's eyes. Let's see what it is. Has something caught your eye?
No, just looking because it was on the edge of the field in case there was any.
All right.
There was a bit of a ditch and a bit of a tunnel made with a tree. Just, you know, something. It's like you say, you just look and you kind of get the feel of the land.
Yeah, because you can't exactly come out at night looking round. You've got to make sure that we know the lay of the land when we're out there. We can't just willy-nilly come out, park up in middle at night and start looking around a wooded area we know nothing about.
Because if we're in an area we've been in the day and we hear something, we know what's the way the land is and what's kind of, you know, you can't, it sounds daft, but you kind of know where you've been and feel anything going on.
I mean, you're right.
Over there, you kind of remember it without thinking about it. You just replay it in your mind.
Yeah, because you've got to think, we're in an area now where we're walking along a path. Now, in the dark, we wouldn't notice that that's a field over there, or there's a field there in that direction, because it'd be that dark, we'd be thinking it's all wooded area. But we'd know where the noises were coming from if we travelled this area tonight.
Yeah. Which we have done. When we first come and we found this path, we only came up halfway because we thought it was a very, very long cliff trail, but we're actually wrong. Because when we came in the day, it kind of bends round and more or less goes back to the cottage. So yes, you do definitely learn stuff. And we're actually off the beacon track, really.
You're getting stuff coming down here, drinking. So you can see the day tracks and stuff.
Yeah.
Don't forget, I mean, we've not seen a person yet on this path and it's Sunday.
No.
So that's the day for walking.
True, yeah. Well, it was busy earlier on when I was here. But Alan's just noticed this. Now that there is a deer track and it goes down to this water. So we know they're coming here drinking this. So what else could be using this little pathway? Now we can't tell. We know there's dog walkers that come along here, so we've got dogs looking down here as well, because they'll smell the area and they'll know through smell that there's a different animal that's gone down here. But we can't tell with footprints at the moment, because that one, that's a deer, so that's quite recent. But here you've got all these different mixtures of other paw prints, so we can't tell what sort of animal it is.
Well, I personally think it's the Jersey Devil, but that's just my opinion.
So we've got the Jersey Devil round here. That's Alan's idea. So we'll look for the Jersey Devil while we're looking for other things in this area. We're back in the area where they had the funny scream last night. We're looking around here for footprints, or should I say paw prints. So I believe this is where Alan found some of his prints, what he took photos of.
No, that's a dog. Is it? I think so.
Yeah, that's a dog, that.
Yeah.
Were the ones that you took the photo of?
That's what it was.
Right, all right, yeah.
There. I'll put you over where it is, right about this area there. Now, when he brought the pictures back, it actually did look like a cat print, but when we're actually here, me and Mick said straight away, no, it's a dog print.
It's too
perfect.
Yeah, too perfect. It's too aligned. The toes are aligned perfect like a dog.
Yeah.
Whereas if it would be a cat, it would be spread out more.
Yeah.
And they wouldn't. Yeah, they wouldn't be all in a nice straight line like that.
Yeah.
So it just shows you.
But I can see.
You can't tell off a picture. So you actually see it in its true form. You can't actually, because we both said, oh, it does look like a cat.
I'm just thinking whereabouts we heard the sounds last night.
Actually
We were only down there.
Me and Mick said no.
And then it comes up to this ridge up here. So it must have been somewhere around, up here around this area.
So this is where the noise was coming from?
Because we were down there, yeah.
All right, you was down.
We were down, walking down the path.
Right,
Down there.
so when it came from up here, right, yeah.
What was the date of it, Nick?
I understand, yeah.
If it was attacking something, something should be left.
Well, that's what yeah. What we could do is just have a look around and see if we come across any feathers.
Because what's to say that it was
what we
attacking
need
something?
to do, I think, where it was, see, I think it's further along. The car park's there.
Yeah.
I think it's further along here.
I mean,
because
how far down were you down the path?
Right at the bottom of the dip.
So that's down over there.
That's down over there. But what I'm saying is, when I was looking at it, it's like it came from behind him on his left. So it is somewhere around this area.
Yeah.
I say if we go further, you know, to that where you've got shrubs and bushes and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you don't get the pub. There's no
path
going to there. It's hidden away, literally.
Good find here by H. Just come across it, but it's not recent. It's a kill, definitely, probably from a fox or something, but it is round about the area where we were down in the dip yesterday, or last night. I think it was about midnight, wasn't it?
12-ish.
Yeah, about 12-ish, something like that.
Yeah, you can tell that's a seagull and an old.
Yeah, seagull, pigeon. It's that
So,
kind of bird, and then you can get a better idea if you're watching it.
But we don't know what could have killed it. It could have been a fox. It could have been a big cat. Because they will go for that, fox and big cat. But at least we've found a kill from the area you heard that noise in last night. So there might be others around here. So if we have a look around here, yeah.
Good find, H.
Yeah, that was a good find. I'm scaring the birds in the trees here while I'm out. So we're here at Dyke. We're going to be sat in the dark for a bit, but we will have our devices running, and it's very quiet in here tonight. There's no sounds of anything. We've had the odd hooting from an owl, but that's about it. So we're just going to sit. Like I said, just sit and listen and see if anything creeps up around us or whether we hear any noises. I'll just walk over to them because I've come a bit away at the moment, so I'm going to walk back over to them where they're sat around. Not much has happened tonight, apart from us sitting there and chatting. It's been quite a quiet night, but this is what happens when you go out. You don't know whether anything's going to happen or whether, you know, you can sit there for a few hours with nothing happening, and then sometimes you get the odd thing happening. But this is what it's all about. That's everyone heading back now. We've finished doing what we're doing. Lee and Ireland are walking back a different way. We're heading to the cars and going back by car. So day 2 in Flamborough, and again heading over to Dyke, which we are in the wooded area now. We're not far from where we were last night while we're all sat round. Got this Lee, Ireland and myself this morning coming looking over. We had quite a late night last night, so some of them are still sleeping it off while we get out here and do what we can. We're only coming over really to look at an area where we left some meat, some chicken, to see whether it's been taken. I know it doesn't prove anything, you know, just leaving a piece of chicken out and it going missing. It could be any animal that takes it, but it might leave some footprints because the area we've left it in is quite soft ground, so it could leave some sort of footprint, so we could get somewhere there, maybe or maybe not.
Even though it was muddier last night, there's not really any tracks as the sun is out and a lot of mud has dried up. But we know something, whether that's a dog, badger, or maybe a big cat, has taken chicken.